So yesterday's video got quite a bit of a response about me talking about a certain player that, in the minor leagues, are changing his swing, and a little bit of a rant from myself. So I'm going to continue on with this. Now today, I actually, from that video, I had a mother who I've worked with her son in the past on really like the mental edge aspect of it, the mindset portion of it. He's really been struggling with trying to be perfect and being scared to make mistakes, and trying to just kind of work through the process of not playing in fear. And she mentioned the reason why he's somewhat playing in fear is because if he makes a mistake, just one error, coach pulls him immediately. Now, this is about 13, 14 years old. Now, what are we teaching our athletes as coaches? What are we teaching them if we pull them after they make an error? Right? I don't know if we're teaching them accountability. I don't know if they're teaching them, hey, you're not allowed to make errors on this team. But I'm really interested, like, exactly are we teaching them? We're acting like, now, especially if you're a player and you played the game before, you know how difficult the game is. You know that you're gonna make errors. So what I'm hearing from the mother is, when you pull a player, like sometimes coaches will pull a player for making an error, but then another, let's say he's an outfielder and he makes an error, but yet the shortstop or an infielder makes an error and they don't pull the player, because there's no consistency in the coaching, and now parents are looking around like, what the heck is going on? Why are you pulling my kid? So coaches, stop doing that shit. Stop pulling players, especially at the younger ages of like 12 and under. You're gonna pull a player for making an error. It's just absolutely ridiculous. How are they supposed to learn when you pull them? Right? And I've seen it before. I've seen a player at like the little league level, and a coach pulls them, and the coach is so mad and so upset. This kid comes in, they're not emotionally mature enough to handle what's happening, and you bench them for making an error. So we've got to do better. We've got to do better. We got to teach these kids how to play the game, pull them aside, right? And part of the problem too is the trying to embarrass the player after they've made an error. And usually these kids will come into the dugout and they're crying. They're trying to work through those emotions. And the reason I know this, because that's my clientele. These are players that have been buried by coaches because they've been verbally abused. They've been mentally and verbally abused in this aspect. And of course, there's different aspects of this, right? And everyone's going to have their own interpretation of it. But I think as coaches, I think we can do better. Teach them. You're a coach. You have to teach them. And it's one of those things where the kid likely, if he has somewhat of a baseball IQ, he probably knows what he did. But that's when we pull them aside. We pull them aside in the dugout. We pull them aside after a game, not embarrassing kids in front of them. That's when they start to hate the game. And that's when parents get really upset with coaches, when they're not consistent and they pull a kid for making an error, but not doing the same thing to the shortstop, to the first base, whoever makes the error. So let's do better. I think we can do that, and I think the bottom line is we want kids to enjoy the game. And when you punish mistakes, they're all playing in fear. Now they're playing in anxiety. They're playing scared. They're playing like, please, God, don't hit this ball to me. And that's the exact opposite of what we want. So let's try to do better. Let's work through these as coaches, as parents, and let's encourage these kids and just show them love. Thanks.